Welcome everybody to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and I have the pleasure to speak to you all about one of the most anticipated films of the summer. The other half of the Barbenheimer event, cultural phenomena that's going on, and this would be Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. I have the distinct pleasure also of speaking to you all about our thoughts and what we really loved about this movie with our usual suspects on the Popcorn Watch List panel. Say hello, gentlemen. Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Anthony.
Say hi, Danny.
What's up?
And say hello to the young kid, Zach.
Hello to the young kid, Zach.
Gentlemen.
Everything's so literal, you guys. You can take a historical biopic and then you just take it all literal. Anyway.
Hello, literal.
So, this episode I've been really excited to get right into because, you know, we're a lot of people just really like movies. They really are. You're either really into Christopher Nolan stuff or you're not. Depending on how he shoots his films, how he writes his films, because a lot of the times he writes his own stuff, and a lot of times he likes to play a little scatterboard with the movie timeline. But thematically, it all just makes sense, and it makes more sense if you watch it 2 or 3 more times. But in its initial viewing, it still leaves quite the impression on you. So, Danny, hit us with some of the facts and the rundown of the film.
Yeah, so
you can spend the next 20 minutes saying the cast list.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone and their mother was in this movie.
I think someone's mother was in the movie.
What?
Nolan's daughter was in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
everyone and their daughters.
Emily Blunt's daughter's mother was in the movie.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
So her?
Yes.
Yeah, but we got a huge cast, as everyone's been mentioning. I'll just go through some of the main...
I mean, ensemble would be an understatement.
Avengers Assemble?
No, like ensemble.
No, I know.
I mean, we had an Avenger.
Yeah, we did.
We did have an Avenger in the movie.
We did indeed have an Avenger in the film.
Look at that.
But we have multiple Marvel people.
You have multiple Marvel people. You have
Florence Pugh.
Some other people from other big movies. Yeah, Florence Pugh.
We got a Batman villain.
We had a Marvel movie director in the movie, Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me give that to you.
True.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going.
But stars. The main actor, of course, is Cillian Murphy.
Cillian or Cillian? I've heard
Cillian. I've heard Nolan say in reviews Cillian.
It's because he's Irish, so it's spelled a little bit different.
I used to think it was always Cillian.
It's like if you've ever seen how Siobhan is spelled. It's like Siobhan. But it's actually Siobhan.
Yeah.
So, because he's Irish.
Okay, so it is Cillian. So they go hard C. Okay, not soft C.
Hard C.
Like Colbert.
Which one would you prefer?
You guys are dirty.
Then we got Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Casey Affleck.
Casey Affleck in a small but very
that was a nice surprise to have him on there.
Look, my surprise was seeing James Darcy in the movie.
That's your surprise?
Yes.
I think the biggest role in this movie is Josh Peck. I mean, that's from Drake and Josh.
Yeah. So
Drake and Josh.
For the sake of cinema lovers and people who just want to hear people discuss Oppenheimer, particularly, we're gonna avoid like really big spoilers and how the plot necessarily plays out step by step by step. We're not going to bore you with all that, especially on a 3-hour and basically 3-hour long film. But we'll touch on some big things. But one actual cast member that showed up, I don't know if we considered a glorified cameo or not, was Oppenheimer speaking to one president of the United States, Harry S. Truman.
Mm-hmm. That was a great one. Played
by freaking Gary Oldman. That hit me out of surprise. Because now you have Gary Oldman who played 2 different people within the same historical time period. Mm-hmm. So basically...
Oh, yeah, because he played Dick Cheney?
No,
that's Christian Bale. That's Christian Bale, sorry. Churchill.
Darkest Hours.
That's what Churchill.
Yeah, and he won an Oscar for that. So what's really funny is that...
So he needs one more?
Yeah, he needs to play Stalin.
Trifecta.
Yeah, he needs to just play Stalin. Sorry, Danny. I have a derailed with all the fun stuff. Oh, yeah, and let's talk about Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me half the movie to realize that was Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. I like seeing him and stuff again.
Yeah, man.
Then we got the silent killer, Rami Malek.
Dude, he came out here. My boy was there just not doing anything. And I'm just like, please? Like, especially with how what turns out later on in the plot was pretty out of hand.
Benny Safdie.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was actually
Director.
pretty good.
David Krumholtz. You guys ever watch The
Numbers
Santa Claus?
And the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1010
Freaking numbers,
Things I Hate
dude.
About You.
Freaking numbers.
We also-
wait, what's his? Oh yeah, okay,
David
him.
Crumholtz.
Yeah.
He was the elf from the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We also had Tony Goldwyn
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
You mean Tarzan?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and President in what was it, Scandal?
In Scandal. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then
Jason Clarke.
you had Hobgoblin in there.
Oh, Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan.
Jack Quaid.
Jack
So many
Quaid, dude.
That's right.
That's Superman.
Did someone say Devin Bostic or no?
Not yet.
Okay, because so Devin Bostic, he played. He's really only known for playing Roderick.
Roderick from Roderick Rules.
from Die Wimpy Kid.
And then here's one. I remember freaking out about this and then realizing, oh wait, Zach has no idea who this guy is. Except he should because he did watch Full Metal Jacket. So the guy who played Vannevar Bush was Matthew Modine,
The main character.
the main
Okay,
character from
so
Full Metal Jacket.
I heard about that, but I couldn't recognize him. I guess because of like how many years it's been since
Yes,
Full Metal
almost 40
Jacket.
years.
But he's been in a few Nolan movies too.
Yeah, he has. Let's see. Who else am I
We also
missing?
had Alden
Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich.
David
Solo.
Dasmalchian.
Yeah, Das Malkian was the guy basically
Polka Dot
like
Man.
Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, he was in The Dark Knight
This is
Yeah.
the work.
in that
of,
one scene.
This is the work of gypsies. Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, he's that one freaky dude.
You had the guy from Hereditary.
Alden.
Yeah, the one guy from Hereditary, the one with the mole.
Alex Wolff.
Alex Wolff. James Remar was there too, which is really cool.
Mhm.
Just a crazy cast.
Yeah, that cast. Like basically, like I want to know who, like how this casting story went about.
I think it's at the point where
people are
you
fighting.
just call someone and you say, "Hey, Nolan's doing a movie," and before that person finishes, the actor
I'm
goes,
in.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
so
it's like
and
30 seconds of screen time. I don't care.
I'm
in.
pretty sure they all got the bare minimum, which is why this movie's only
But I'm
$100
sure they
million.
want to.
The movie's only $100 million, and with all these people in it, there's no way they spent $20 million per big person.
No.
Yeah. It's just the prestige of being in a Nolan movie.
Josh Peck can literally say he was in a Nolan movie.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty important
Jack
part.
Quaid can actually say he was in there. Again, small part, but yeah.
A lot of these actors, they only had like small.
Man, these kids never
roles,
watched
too.
White Collar.
The
Tim DeKay was in it.
I know, man.
Freaking great.
Never saw.
The what do you call it? The
show.
Tom Conti is Einstein.
the main
like, dude,
one of the main characters from the new Jumanji movies. He was in it, right?
Yes, that's Alex Wolff.
Oh, okay, I don't know his name.
Yeah.
And then isn't the kid from High School? No,
High School Musical.
no. High School High. The one with the superheroes. What's that movie called?
It's
Not Sky High.
Sky High.
Sky High.
Yeah, you mean
I don't
Sky
know why
High.
I said High School.
Wait, which?
That's a different
which
movie.
actor? Which actor?
I think.
The main character, the main
Is
kid.
he?
I think he's in this
Are you
movie.
sure? We're just gonna go off the cast because the
Do it.
cast is so large. Like,
I don't know his name. I don't know the actor's
He was
name.
also in that movie with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, The Forbidden Kingdom.
oh man,
He's the main
Michael
character.
Angarano.
Oh, Michael. Yeah. Okay, I just saw the name there. Yeah.
And he's totally in the Oppenheimer. Bam,
Wait,
got him.
who did he? Who
Anthony.
did he play in the movie?
Robert Server.
One of the random, like, one of
Scientists.
his scientists
People.
/students that would, like, help him out.
Especially
And he's only in, like,
in the
2
class.
scenes.
Yeah,
he's only, like, a
when
couple scenes.
when Oppenheimer
Oh,
was
I'll
teaching.
have to look out when I go to watch.
He's
it.
actually the guy that I think he tells after the test to, like, go say this thing to my wife, like, the coded message to his wife. That I think that's the guy he tells.
The one. Yeah, that's after the Trinity test.
Yes.
Very cool.
I was trying not to.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
Spoil
spoilers on this
anything.
episode, so you
Yeah.
can keep
Even though it's
listening.
his
This is a recap.
historical.
It's a historical document. Yeah, but like, how did Nolan write this in? And, what's black and white and what's in color? We'll get to that in a little bit. But we talking about, Nolan's latest film. Can we talk about very quickly, who did the music this time? Because it wasn't Hans Zimmer. Again.
Nope.
surprisingly,
No.
but also
Well, it's the
not a
same
bad
reason
thing.
he didn't do Tenet.
Your boy's too busy doing
Doom.
Part 2.
Doom Part 2.
And then Doom Part 2.
So this is Ludwig, man.
Yeah. Which he did Tenet, he did Black Panther, Creed.
Community. Come on, guys. Get with it.
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Ludwig Göransson. He's a Tony, man. Give this man a Tony to doing whatever.
I don't know if he still is, but for a long time he was like music partner and producer of Childish Gambino's
still
music.
is.
So
Yeah, if he's gonna
Well,
do
he
anything,
does work with a lot of like big artists.
and big rappers.
but like they knew each other from Community. So
they're
that's how they
shorthand.
started.
Like a lot of his indie rap stuff, he would still produce on the side because it was fun.
But he
and
can-
so with
he
a
can make orchestral.
he can do whatever the hell he
He
wants.
also
Peter
did
Pan.
Venom,
Yeah,
Which
he
one?
did the
First
first
one?
one.
the first one.
You didn't say it right though.
How does a
Venom.
yeah? I was gonna say how does
How does
Eminem
Eminem
say?
say?
Yeah.
So Anthony already said is a budget of $100 million. As of this recording, how much has it made, Danny?
So domestically, it's made 174 million.
Nice.
For a prestige R-rated film that's
3
3 hour
hour
long.
3 hour movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Bulk of it is probably just from IMAX alone.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, people
all the
trying to
IMAX
get it.
are
Yeah.
sold out.
Every legitimate IMAX showing in our neighborhood is
they hyped
Well,
it
the
up.
only one in our
They
neighborhood.
hyped it up.
And then globally, it's now crossed the 400 million mark, which
Awesome.
that's insane.
quadrupled.
Awesome.
Which it's well deserved.
Even if you if you assume advertising was like 50, 75 million,
Let's just say 100 million. Like
another 100 million. So
Yeah.
Already doubled up.
they already
They broke even, I guess.
no
with this
they
one. Or-
he said
Doubled.
400 what?
up.
400
They've
million.
doubled.
doubled
up, yeah.
And
their
it's not even
production
done yet.
and
It's not even
advertising
done.
budget.
It's only the second week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is, we have to talk about, I mentioned it with the introduction, is this movie's success in the box office, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like there's still, again, the other half of Barbenheimer going around. So there are people that are like, that's the target audience for Barbie that are now going in to watch Oppenheimer.
And vice versa.
Vice versa, yeah. And so people are getting, it's great is that these movies don't cannibalize each other's target audience. So people are just like, hey, let's just go see a good
Both of
movie
them.
Just
because
see
they're
two
both
movies.
Yeah, they're both good, well-made movies. Or so we hear. So let's go check it out. And we actually did that. We went and saw a Dolby showing from Barbie. Everybody is dolled up in Barbie in these hot neon pinks going everywhere. I had a family, I guess from out of town. They're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Guy, did you not hear about Barbenheimer?"
Go online, man.
Yeah, he's like, "You didn't hear about Barbenheimer." And the guy looks like, "Oh, I just thought it's just because we're recording out of Miami." So he's just like, "Oh, I just thought everybody in Miami kind of wore pink." I was like, "You really think everybody
I didn't wear
coordinated
pink,
this?" Like, I did wear a pink T-shirt, and it's pretty dope. But then us collectively, minus Zach, who saw it 2 days early, we all drove up to our Museum of Discovery and Science in Fort Lauderdale to watch it in what I jokingly called the Lord's IMAX, which is like the real deal 70 millimeter big old projector with amazing sound. And for a movie that was pretty, there's a lot of good dialogue and really great riveting score, great establishing cinematography shots. Like it still looks, it's still really impressive when you see like 70% of that screen all filled up, like for most of the time. It's like more so than even Top Gun.
Because
it's nuts.
The aspect ratio does change between
Sometimes,
true IMAX and like digital IMAX because it's a shorter crop. But even like the full screen shots looked,
And there were a lot of those
really
full screen
cool.
shots indoors, like in labs,
Yeah.
in
Just regular talking
classrooms.
shots,
Like
too.
that blew my mind.
So
because I think they were
Great.
going for like a cinematic look, having like the black bars to give it more like dramatic
well, no,
feel.
that's just how it is.
Because there were some parts like even when they were, because there's a part where Oppenheimer is talking to what's the character's name, Teller.
Yeah,
where
he's like Ben Safdie. But
there's the shot where they're both standing next to it, looking like towards the camera, looking at like a truck drive away, where it's the full screen, and then when they're talking to each other and they have like the close-ups, it's cropped in, so it's like the same shot but cropped in.
Yeah, they just didn't use an IMAX camera for that.
Yeah, but I think he probably did it probably for stylistic for the most part because they want like that dramatic black bars and have them.
Was that the scene when they were carting off Fat Man and Little Boy?
It might have been the scene
I
where
think
he
it
was
was
probably
before that.
attempting to leave.
Oh, and he's like, no, dude, you can work on the hydrant.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was sometime after that. I think.
Most of the exterior outside shots of
Talking.
either
Los
Los Alamos
Alamos.
or in general when they're at the school,
Yeah.
like most of the outside shots were
It
IMAX
was
shots.
IMAX, yeah.
Even the black and white shots.
I can
were-
tell you because
Yeah, there was also a mix of like full IMAX and like cropped.
so I can tell you for sure the difference in quality and clarity because I've seen some YouTube videos that this true IMAX version can produce up to 16K like resolution.
That's crazy.
And then
it
so
looked really
so
sharp.
so I saw that one and then I saw it in regular 2D digital screening and I could tell you definitely almost every scene that they were in Los Alamos when we were at the Fort Lauderdale you could see like particles and everything that when they were
It's like
outside you could
buckets
see
of-
things blowing in the wind everywhere.
Yeah, like
you
sand
could see
debris was
and
there.
like
It was
even
nuts.
even when there were
Like,
close
just, like,
ups
the fine details.
even
you
the
can
close-ups
see
on
everything.
people you could see like the supreme detail on their skin. It was crazy. In the regular version I didn't see any of those things flying around. So when I saw it, I was like wow, now I can tell the difference. Like,
Yeah,
I
'cause-
really noticed the difference.
Because a lot of those, or a lot of like digital showings are like they're 2K. They're not even 4K. And for a big, I mean, it's a projector. There are 4K projectors, but most theaters just use 2K. When you have it on a big screen like that, you're gonna see more like fuzziness from the pixels. I mean, I'm sure the technology has gotten good where they kind of blend together, but it's not sharp. It's still gonna have that little bit of like fuzz or blur to it.
And you could tell just looking at the film reel by itself, like how drastically bigger it is.
What they say is 11 miles long. The
Yeah.
whole
11
entire
miles.
movie.
I think someone said you can watch
Watch
the
it?
whole movie
while walking,
While walking
the distance of the actual reel.
Yeah, someone told that in
like,
the press junket to Christopher Nolan. He's like, "No way!" Like he looks, he's like, "There's no way." Like, it was like he thought it was a joke, but he's like, "No, somebody actually puts that." He's like, "I don't like." It's like either the look that Nolan had on his face, and he think he was next to RDJ.
He's probably thinking like, how long would it take me to walk 11 miles?
Like, he's next to RDJ, and then RDJ's like cracking up. As like, dude, that's out of hand. Like, kind of thinking that he knew he did it on purpose. And you see Chris Nolan's face it shows one of two things. It can be either A, wow, that's what a crazy coincidence, or B, they figured it out.
The genius.
Yeah, and I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't have put it past them.
He
given
accepted his other movie.
It was accidentally on purpose.
It was accidentally on purpose. Why not? But
Our
definitely
next review.
accidentally on purpose. That is a movie.
It was a show.
Honestly,
also.
yeah, like it stinks because at least down here, all the IMAX showings until it goes away from that particular venue are completely sold out. It's not like sold out really late, maybe a couple. No, it's gone. You have no chance to get in there. You got to mug someone to get that ticket.
Well, I do want to put this out as a fact. I don't know if you guys knew this. So
Don't put it out. Don't put it out.
in the whole state of Florida, that museum is the only museum or the only theater that has true 70 millimeter.
No, it's
IMAX.
not. There's one
It
in
is.
Orlando.
The Regal Point Plaza.
Yes.
That's a shout out to Regal.
I checked.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
we
have-
looked it up.
they have
There's a
the-
there's a website that shows that has a list of all the movie theaters that support that, and I thought Florida had just the one.
I'm almost certain that one in Orlando has it.
And if it is, then I retract.
Danny?
But at least in South Florida, for sure.
I was gonna say, Danny, look that up while we go.
But yeah, I
'Cause
think
I
total.
heard someone mention.
I think total
the one
in
in
the
Ocean
country
City
there's
Walk,
like
but
maybe
like 20
30 or 20. Yeah, in the country.
Yeah, it's a very small amount. But apparently the biggest. I don't know if it is a 70 millimeter showing, but there's one in Sydney, Australia, that's actually the largest IMAX.
Is it on
It's
P.
not.
Sherman 42 Willoughby Way?
No.
It's not the
It's
largest.
not the
It's also
largest.
not the largest. The largest is
It's in Germany.
Is it Antwerp? No, is it in Berlin?
I saw a YouTube
But
video.
not like a dome IMAX.
no,
like a
it's,
restaurant
it's the
screen,
largest
really.
screen.
Yeah.
IMAX. Yeah.
In
Oh,
Leonberg.
Sydney.
It's in Germany.
It's
That
Leonberg.
must be new then, because
The Trumpalast, currently
It was
the
like a-
largest IMAX screen in the world.
It's like a 20 or 30 minute video that I saw. And it looks really nice.
Nerd. No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
So
if you
City
go
Walk?
into the U.S., it's not even in City Walk. Actually, Anthony, we have to revise that. It's not the Regal Point Plaza. That Regal is no longer on here. It's some theater. I have to see if Paragon Theaters. It's in Delray. I have to see if that's real or not. You have the AutoNation Museum of Discovery, and then the Kennedy Space Center. That's it.
That's because those have the Space Center probably has one of those domes.
It has a 70 millimeter. Fort Lauderdale has 70 millimeter.
I know that.
All right, so here from IMAX's website, the only theater is the AutoNation Theater.
Okay.
No, so the only one that has the
it's the 3D theaters at Kennedy Space Center. So it's the dome.
the only ones that have it are the Fort Lauderdale, and then Regal Point Orlando,
All right. So it is back.
and then
But does the Regal
Kennedy
Point-
Space Center.
But does the Regal Point Orlando do the 70 millimeter? And you have to look at the number. Sometimes it says
Yeah.
15 slash I think
70.
it's 30.
Well, those
something.
are saying 1570.
70, which is the
And that's what we
real
have
one.
down here
the
too.
biggest
Yeah.
format.
The real one.
So Fort Lauderdale does that, and they also have the digital.
Yeah.
If you know,
Well, yeah, because
So they
I
can
think
switch.
plus D is
yeah,
Yeah, if
So
you don't get
then
an 11-mile long.
The Regal Point
it's the same
Orlando,
thing. 1570.
Yeah.
and then Kennedy Space Center, and then the Orlando Science.
So then, why is this list different from that list? This is from IMAX directly. I don't know. if-
IMAX is wrong. Okay.
Anyway,
that would be kind of.
the point is they're rare.
They're extremely rare.
They're
They're
like-
worth
they're like a
traveling
shiny
to.
Pokemon.
I think every time we talk about a movie that we specifically have to watch in IMAX, we say, hey, go make the trip somewhere. If you have to go out of state or something and you really like movies, Anthony said it best. You're going to see all this detail. Also, those theaters usually have laser pinpoint calibrated sound, much to the higher effect of what you would see beyond just a Dolby experience or a 40X experience at Regal. You're not going to get that at an Alamo Draft House, even though you'll probably get drunk, but you won't get that.
And you won't get poked in the back. So
Poke in the back. So, recapping it up, definitely go watch it in IMAX.
yeah, pretty much. It seems like every time Nolan does a movie, he's gonna use a lot of IMAX camera scenes. So whenever the next Nolan movie comes out, try your best to go look for one of these true IMAX theaters and enjoy it, because it's quite a sight to behold.
And coming from a visual point, and it really highlights and accentuates the performances that these actors do. Like Cillian Murphy has a lot of these shots where you're looking at what Oppenheimer is going through, both from a physical acting and emotional kind of facial expressions and the way he speaks his words. And so you're seeing this in a true screen. It seems almost lifelike, like you're just looking through a window and seeing these people have conversations. And especially when you're looking at it from a point of a lens of history, it's a stylized a historical biopic, but it is extremely valuable to be able to be as immersed in this type of subject, especially immersed in various different points in history. So the movie jumps from the mid to late 1920s into the the points between the early 30s, mid 30s into 1939. Then we get stuff into from 1950, the end of World War II, 1940, 54, and then 1959, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 61?
Yeah, they do.
When was this guy's confirmation? Louis Strauss's confirmation? I don't know if I'm asking that out loud, if you guys remember, but we're here typing. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think it's sometime in the 60s.
I thought it was 61. No, 59. I was right the first time. 59. Dang it. Anyway, yeah, Homeboy. They said no to Homeboy. That's partly because of Rami Malek showing up as was it Dr. Lewis? No, yeah, I think it was Dr. Lewis. He shows up the only speaking role he has, and it's just this damning confirmation of just oh wait, this guy also has an Oscar. And that's the reason why. Too good, man. It's too
Also
good.
a Bond villain.
And also a Bond villain. And also a pharaoh.
True.
And the robot.
And he's a Mr. Robot. He's the Mr. the Robot. Anyway, yeah, what do we think about some of the acting here? Already award-winning contests, any
For sure, Robert
standout?
Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but both
Probably Emily Blunt,
for
too.
both for actor in a leading role.
No,
No,
I think Robert Downey Jr. to be supporting.
But I feel like he was in more of a lead role.
But he's not. If you watch it again,
he's more of he's
not in.
supporting,
He's not in the movie for that long. It's just they split it up very well.
and they reuse some of his scenes, but obviously the main character, the
Cillian
Murphy. He's almost in every scene.
J. Robert Oppenheimer. So that is
Because like for supporting, I could like for at least supporting actress, I can see maybe Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah.
That one scene. Oof.
But definitely Robert Downey Jr. as supporting, and then like maybe Matt Damon, but Robert Downey Jr. definitely stole the
Yeah, if you're gonna have anybody come as a best supporting actor, for sure RDJ. Like this, I mean, I remember him saying like, "Oh, this is probably the best movie I've ever been in." And you're just like, "Homie, okay, that's some bold words." And then we go back and especially when he was nominated. Wasn't he nominated as an Oscar for Tropic Thunder?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's his best movie.
That was acting wise, he was playing a dude disguised.
I have to watch that movie.
This guy still has not. How are you?
You guys know this. You guys know this.
Oh my god, we have to watch that.
We have to.
Yeah, don't gang up on me.
Danny McBride is
David Hill is Rami Malek's character.
Dr. David Hill. Yes, of the Chicago branch of people. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's too good. He is too damn good.
They just got like they got everybody's A game. Like
Yeah.
I don't think there was any bad.
Like even if they were there for like a minute, like they killed it for the
Everyone
minute.
brought
Like,
their
I want to
A-game.
know what the direction in like that Nolan's giving them in there. It's just like, is the script that good? Is
He just said act. He just
do
said
it. You know why you're here? Go and do it. And then they went and did it, dude. Like Emily Blunt, when she's basically they had their firstborn, and she's just like, the whole bit of just like, oh, are you watching the baby? I'm like, watching him all day. She's just like that postpartum, like I hate the world, and I'm just drunk mess. Like that was wild. And at the same time, like you have Oppenheimer in a real low. She's just like, dude, you need to snap out of it because all these people out here are counting on you. Like you need to get your shit together. And she said that with such damn conviction that like it's like I remember like the whole theater was just like, damn, Emily Blunt. Yeah, it's like you feel it. There's weight behind that. Like this acting, like this legitimate acting. Like there's
I have an act hole.
Yeah. All right, Trevor Slattery.
yeah, I thought everyone did a great job.
Yeah. Any like we
Like Josh Hartnett, like he was very surprising because he was in it a considerable amount, and I thought he did.
What
a
else
great
has
job.
he been in? Because watching it, he looked familiar.
Dude,
I wasn't sure.
He was very popular when he was like 20 because he was like
you
the
never
next
watched Pearl Harbor?
popular heartthrob.
No, I've never seen Pearl Harbor. Actually,
You never watched The Faculty?
Nope.
Oh, he did Wrath of Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in. You guys haven't seen it, but it was Lucky Number 11.
that's a cool movie.
That is a really cool movie.
Slevin?
He was randomly in Wrath of Man. I forgot about that. He was in a really good. What's the name of this show?
The horror show.
Yeah, Penny Dreadful. Yes, he's in Penny Dreadful. That show's really good. That's with Ava Green. But he was kind of just like very like took a little break, been in a couple little things here and there, but like he was all over the place. He was in like in the early to mid 2000s.
One scene in Sin City.
That one scene, Black Hawk Down. Like how am I forgetting Black Hawk Down? Like, but I remember the thing that really blew him up was Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Matt Damon, and he was also in Halloween H2O, but we don't talk about that. That's technically like his
Halloween
first
Water?
credit movie. Which one?
Halloween Water.
Halloween Water. You mean Halloween Water?
Exactly.
Halloween Water. Like, I mean, like everybody. It's just even, dude. Like, and what makes those scenes so great? Like, there's no way we can't talk about the movie and not talk about the score.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that subtle like music always playing behind and creating like this tension and like.
It's like if there was more orchestration behind. And I said this to a friend earlier in the week that it sounds like if Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross had more orchestration behind there, because it's like tones, but it's like melodic tones, and to the point where like there's like it's a motif behind all of it. It's not just tones. Like there's a theme to it.
Now
like,
they're gonna win the Oscar.
well, the only movie that they did right now is the Ninja Turtles.
Mm.
But like Ludwig like has that like those two. He has like Hans Zimmer-esque like two notes that kind of one starts off and then resolves into another one. Then it goes to a higher one, and like you have like these stringing violins because it's like classy and awe-inspiring, but also horrifying.
It definitely lended itself to what was happening in the movie. It added to the anxiety of how Oppenheimer was feeling, how everybody in the world was feeling during those times, and it was just like, and how the movie was paced. Because we've mentioned already, this is a 3-hour movie. At least for me, I've seen it twice. It does not feel like a 3-hour movie because it's edited very well and it's cut very well. That scenes go by pretty quickly, and it just.
I mean, I think that's like a staple with Nolan films.
Sometimes,
like the way that it's cut. Yeah.
But I felt like I remember when the first time we watched it, when it first started and it was like jumping pretty quickly, I was kind of scared. I was like, "Oh, is it going to be this quick the whole time?"
Between like the flashes. Of,
no, not even that. It was just like. It was like a scene, and then it went to another scene, and then the next scene, black and white, and then you're like, wait, what was going on? And so it takes you maybe like 15, 20 minutes to realize what's going on. You're like, okay, I get how this is structured, but yeah, it does not feel 3 hours. At least to me, it didn't feel like.
You don't have to be able to read the sheet. You don't have to read the sheet, but you have to be able to hear the music. To quote a line from the movie, from Niels Bohr. I think what was really cool about it is, especially like. When it needed to slow down, it slowed down. When it sped up again, it sped up. And everything is all practical effects. Mm-hmm. So everything from wild. Like when you see like everything from like the electron microscopes, that when you have like these particles going through and it's supposed to be crashing into each other, all the sparks, like that someone went and like had flares or did some other like magnesium sparks, and it creates like that more authenticity to everything. And that's the kind of stuff that you'd even see in Dunkirk. Like, oh, there's like real stuff blowing up around people, and there's water. But to this case, like you're getting these big shots in New Mexico. You're getting these really intimate shots in various rooms, labs, workstations, and like here small chambers, large chambers, and even like from there, like to Anthony's point, like that whole the stylistic change between what's in color, which is basically, for those who are deciphering it or who have already got the pattern, it was sort of like the things that happen through Oppenheimer's lens, and then the black and white stuff is the cold hard flat, or like supposed to be like factual, or at least what from Lewis Strauss's perspective, which is really cool to see, because then you revisit scenes again in the different lens. Especially we see the scene in the beginning and the scene it mirrors what the scene is at the end, and it's just like Anthony said. I'm gonna keep bringing that back up. Like a certain movie, if anyone's kind of confused, there'll be a point where it clicks, and you're just like, "Holy crap, this is great!" And the movie shot really well. Like I know, Danny, you have opinions on just like the way the movie is shot so well. Like it's truly immersive, right?
Yeah, and then obviously when you see it in IMAX, filling up that whole screen, just like. Even just seeing someone talking in this movie, like the way it's shot, or like the angles that they have, having the person right front and center, like filling up that whole screen, it really
it's like a full body
throws you into the immersion of it. Like you're there listening to this person talk in front of you.
Yeah, like you're just here, you're watching real life people talk about real life stakes and how how the atom bomb was made, and then the effect that had on the world, but also on one person's decisions through various different things, how that all affected everything. It's intense, but it's fast, but it's also not too fast. Like it's done so well. It's what?
Too fast, too furious.
Too fast, too furious.
You have to.
Yeah, you're gonna go backwards now.
I hope so.
No, that's Memento.
Or Tenet.
Yeah, it's Tenet or Memento.
I just like Nolan's use of like timing and like pacing through the different movies he's done, and I feel like this one is definitely like a progression of everything he's learned from the previous movies he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
whether it's like the practical effects or like just different timings. Like Memento, he started off with telling a movie backwards, and then Tenet, you have it going like forward and back in time, like a palindrome, and just all these different tricks he's learned from all these different movies he's made, and he kind of like puts it all together into this one crazy story.
Oh, for sure. And then I think before we go over like our final impressions, we have to talk about the actual scene of the bomb, of the Trinity test going off. Everybody was kind of excited, like, oh, did he actually let loose a real life nuke? Like, did he get permission to blow it up again? Obviously not, because that would be very, very bad. But the way they used the practicality of creating, like using actual real life explosions, magnesium flares, and other like optical effects and tricks of scaling, I think was really ingenious. Like, it wasn't like it wasn't. We're in IMAX, but I don't know if you guys felt like, oh, when this bomb goes off, my face is gonna melt. But it turns out,
well, all the memes and like videos of
of such thing happening. It's
things happening. It was pretty funny. But
who's the crazy person sitting in the front row, middle seat? They probably left a little disappointed. I'll just say that person was real. But
IMAX did find that person and gave him like, I forgot what they gave.
There's a thing like they found the person who got the ticket and like did like a giveaway or something to him.
We got you a free ticket
IMAX actually
for the front.
Yeah, we got you another free ticket for another Oppenheimer show. He's like, yes, thank you.
What I'm most excited for, to be honest, is when this comes out, to buy.
Season.
And we could take a look to see like the behind the scenes and like all those like featurettes that they're gonna do on the Blu-ray or.
I would hope.
I wonder how exhausting that is for especially because some of these scenes are really intense. Like, you have to be in a certain mind frame to do all of these, and then it's like, hey, sit down with us and let's talk about how that happened and work through. And Chris Nolan's like, dude, I have to like recreate a nuke. I don't have time for this. Or then like now they're in post. He's like, hey, I have time now. What's up? Like,
but that'll be really exciting to see, and I think that'll be another like kind of big moment for the movie. Like, just it'll probably be online, like showing like how these things were made. So
yeah, I know anybody who's really into how movies get made will be enjoying it, but also those people who really decide to want to make movies, like, and tell stories for a living, they're going to see more ways of how somebody who is, I think, shown now to be a master of their craft, how they went about making a process of a film as monumental as this, given everything going on from the thematically and as well as logistically and just mechanically, how the movie's just made from a movie making standpoint. It's out of hand, man. So like now, like, this is his latest film. It's time for everybody to get put on the spot. What do you guys finally think about Oppenheimer as in terms of Christopher Nolan's collection of released cinema?
I think it's his best.
Ooh.
By a bit of a distance. It's not like, oh, it's close between that and something else. I feel like it's his best by a bit.
He's like by a country mile.
So are you someone who believes that there's a difference between something being the best and something being your favorite?
No.
Oh.
Wow.
In this case, no. I can't say objectively. It's all subjective, but I'm not saying that it's my favorite. It is my favorite, but because I also think it's his best film.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, it's your favorite Nolan film. You also think it's his best, objectively best made film. So this is would be considered a masterpiece of his.
Yeah.
His masterpiece. Okay, gotcha.
I'm a little different than yours. I do think it's
Top 5.
maybe like his
Easy top 5.
Top
Top 5 is
3.
easy.
It's not easy. You start putting the names of the movies in front of you, it's not easy.
For me, yeah, I think it's easier for me then. Because I still haven't seen Memento and
You've never seen The Prestige, have you?
I have. No, I've seen everything from Batman Begins onward.
Okay, so you've seen
anything before Batman Begins, I've never seen, which I think is like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah, there's just 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
Well, those aren't in his top. I wouldn't put any of those in his top 5.
I mean, look, for me, Interstellar I love that movie, but I still think Oppenheimer is just that little bit better.
I think
that would be number 2 for me.
Oppenheimer is in his top 3 of like best movies he's made, like in terms of like what he's done for a movie.
Mm-hmm. But
it's not my favorite.
That's fair.
There's others that I'd probably put in my favorite, but definitely one of the like. I've seen everyone saying like, "Oh, it's his masterpiece." Mm-hmm. Like you could definitely see, like I was mentioning before, like it does add up everything he's kind of done before and just puts it in like such a grand scale. But I think for me, it's not my favorite, but
it's like, objectively, it's
a great movie.
It's the culmination of everything he's ever done before, and now rolled into making what could be his best film, but it's not your favorite film.
Yeah,
I just recapped that. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment that that it seems like, because you see his movies and you see somewhat of a similar trend, and so it does feel like throughout these past 20 years or so that he's learned a lot with his writing and his directing. That I think this is his best culmination, like put together, which hopefully, and it'll probably end up getting him maybe his best director Oscar.
Let's hope so.
But yeah, for me, it would probably be like a top fiver of his, just because there's other movies of his that I just like so much that it's hard for me to.
Inception. Sorry, there's something in my throat. Yeah.
Is there something inside the something in your throat?
Yes.
Okay. But
Conception.
going back to just like this movie, I feel like he does so much more with just like symbolism, like with showing you certain things on the screen.
Dialogue too.
Like there's just
Very
like
sharp.
I don't know if I should talk about that, but the beginning of the movie starts off with him when he was young looking at like a puddle of water and seeing like raindrops, and throughout the movie you see this similar, I guess, motif or similar symbolism of like ripples in the water, and it symbolizes him seeing the chain reaction of bombs essentially, and seeing like the shockwaves of multiple bombs going
nuclear
off.
fission.
So it's like since he was like younger, it's kind of showing you that he's had this fear of seeing this crazy chain reaction of stuff going on. Later on in one of the black and white scenes when they're talking about when they're with the committee.
Yep.
Robert Downey Jr. is talking to him and asking him something, and he's not even paying attention because of his anxiety, and it visually it shows you his anxiety with like the background vibrating and moving.
That's
and
when
then
they show the fact that Russia set off a bomb.
correct. And
Yep.
so when
They're sitting at the table.
Yes.
yeah, but the thing is when it goes to Oppenheimer, it's a close up of his face, and he's not even paying attention to Robert Downey Jr.
he's like in a-
And then he stares at the table, and all he sees is like the ripples on the table because they're looking at a map. And so he's visualizing bombs blowing up everywhere around the world on the map. And then later, at the very end of the movie is the same thing. It's in a different scene, but they're showing water droplets
He's still looking.
on the lake.
I call it
looking
the
at
Cillian Murphy Oppenheimer stare.
Yeah,
Like, he
his
does
like
that.
eyes bulge out.
Yeah, he's just there like, oh no.
But
like,
he just does so many a lot of little things like that in this movie where I feel like he probably didn't do that as much before, and just seems like Xavier said, that he's gotten way more comfortable with this type of storytelling, and it shows. And it's just it's a really well done and really good movie, and I think lots of people should watch it. It's very good.
Yeah.
So top 5 for me, but my favorite's Inception.
Yeah, his
So,
favorite is Inception. I know this. I know Anthony for
too
many
good.
years. I have a real personal love for The Prestige, but I have to be on the camp that like, besides just like the really cool stuff that goes on in The Prestige, again from like I have to marvel and be in awe at just how well put together this movie was from every little piece. This movie is almost, I think it's practically perfect.
It's very like precisely executed. Like we were saying before, for it to be 3 hours long, with essentially no action except for like one scene,
Yeah.
and for it to keep your attention the whole movie is a pretty,
And not make us feel like 3 hours.
right. And
Yeah.
for you to be engaged like throughout the whole movie. Again, this is me how I felt, but I think you guys felt similarly.
Yeah.
That's a very hard thing to do.
It's-
There are plenty of people that could say, the second time I went, the friend I went with to watch it, he really enjoyed the movie, and this type of movie is normally the movie that maybe I think that he wouldn't like, and he said no, he really liked it. That he was in it the whole movie. So it's just a testament to how well it was made.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. It's we may have our personal favorites, with the exception of Zach, who's just like, hey, like this is it. This is my favorite, and it's his best movie.
And I love a lot of his other movies too.
Oh no, yeah, but
start naming them.
Whoa, we don't get we're the popcorn watch list. We're not the popcorn gatekeepers. Come on.
No, I'm saying like you start naming them, and then you start
like,
understanding
these are great.
how difficult it is to rank his movies.
Yeah, you're like Dark Knight, Prestige. You have Interstellar, Dunkirk,
exactly. Like it's like they're all
Inception.
So
that was already 5. Yeah, I was just like, oh no, and then I didn't even say Oppenheimer with all of those. Like, and I get to throw an Oppenheimer, like,
because he's been one of those very rare directors that just has like consistently like amazing movies.
Yeah, like I remember we've said this before when we talked about Tenet. I was like, you go back and rewatch it, you're like, this movie is actually really freaking cool. It's like his cool timey-wimey James Bond movie.
Because I don't think there's like a single movie of his that has been like generally received as like mixed or negative. It's been mostly positive.
The only one, Tenet would be Tenet is the closest one that people would argue to be mixed. Yeah, but it's in the mix for being mixed. But regardless, we all agree that this movie is incredible. We went over the reason why now with a type of prestige film like this, it's making almost $500 million. It is really
still making more. So
it's this cultural phenomenon that's part of Barbenheimer that just the stars aligned and people are going out and watching master classes in film and seeing it in premium formats. Like people are going out of their way watching it in IMAX. They're able to see not only a technically like a beautifully made film from a technical standpoint, but you're also seeing amazing acting from this like S-tier list of actors that are just all up in there just trying to just make the most of what they got. Like it doesn't feel like anybody's fighting for screen time. They know the roles they got to play,
their purpose,
and they do their roles extremely well without it overshadowing one or the other.
Maybe The Rock was on set and he was telling everybody to know your role,
but they didn't shut their mouths.
I know.
They did not shut their mouths.
That's how they got it done.
Yeah, the movie's great, and it's again all done from a practical standpoint. Hence, $100 million budget. It's not too shabby.
Oh, we talked about the score, but we didn't talk about the sound mixing.
It's actually good.
It's really good.
It's not a Dark Knight Rises opening preview screen,
but not just like dialogue and music. I'm saying like sound effects of certain things, because there's a certain sound effect that plays throughout the movie. And you don't know what it is, and they reveal it to you later.
It's a Geiger counter.
And it's not the
Geiger counter one.
No. And I want to say what it is, but I don't know if it's a spoiler. And it gets revealed in my favorite scene in the movie. But the
just skip 30 seconds.
Yeah, have them. Yeah, skip 30 seconds if you don't want to know.
It's the scene after. It's the scene after the bombing. And then everyone's cheering.
Yes,
that scene.
Cheering that goes into Scream. Yeah, that's the.
So that scene is.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene was all the things we talked about of like what he did in this movie in like one scene.
Yeah, there's this like celebration, but also tension and anxiety and horror of everything he's done.
Yeah.
And also, but that's the one thing that that some would argue that makes the movie not 100% perfect. Fun little fact: the flag. They're waving flags with 50 stars when it should be 48.
Okay, no, there was a scene in Los Alamos where the flag had 48.
Yeah, but the main scene that we're talking about, they have 50 stars.
Okay, yeah, because that was like what, 20 years too soon, maybe?
At least
10 years, like 10, 15 years.
At least 10, 15 years.
No, not even, because Hawaii and Alaska became states in 50 or 59, one of those.
One was 50. Oh, excuse me. One was 50, and then one was 50.
No, they're both in the same year. No, they were both in the same year, months apart.
What were the names of the two bombs again?
Fat Man and
Little Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like these names.
Yeah.
I think it was 50.
I remember learning that in school. I was like, why are they named that?
It's because people had a sick sense of humor.
Yep.
Exactly that. Alaska was 1959.
And Hawaii?
Hawaii. Also, the Chief Day Save in 1959.
Okay,
yeah.
So about 59. Okay, yeah. So like a whole 15 years.
14 years after, if you want to be really pedantic.
Soon.
Yeah. But that's still, it's technically a gaffe, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll allow it because the movie's so good. With that,
a little goof.
With that, everybody. Again, if you're listening to this, we hope to not have spoiled you so much and in terms of seeing and hearing what we thought about the movie. It's incredible. Everybody, you definitely go watch it. Some intense stuff, but definitely if you want to see why movies can be good and what makes a movie really good and incredible and great and amazing, Oppenheimer is a testament to that. With that being said, next week we'll be joined by some special guests to cover the other half of the cultural phenomenon that is Barbenheimer. We'll go take a little trip to Barbie Land with courtesy of Mattel and Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers. Yes, I totally did my homework, I swear. And we'll be going, doing our deep dive and impressions on Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie, starring Margot Robbie. So that's going to be really exciting. Stay tuned for that episode. It's going to be fun. We'll get a fresh, unique take on what we saw out of Barbie. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. This definitely gets the ultimate seal of the freshest popcorn of all time approval from the popcorn watch list.
Buttered.
What would be the freshest?
Super.
Is it kettle corn? Or?
It's ultra buttered with almost nuclear heat.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that one of those combos?
Borderline radioactive. Yeah,
the ones with like the 3 different flavor combos.
3 different.
If you put the 3 flavors together, they.
Well, with the cheddar cheese, the caramel, and the normal popcorn.
I think if you put all 3 and you bite them all together, there's an explosion in your mouth.
It's the Trinity test in your mouth. You have the shockwave, which I also like, by the way. That how they actually did the sonic boom from the explosion was really cool.
It was quiet for a good minute and a half or so.
The theater was quiet too, and then
no one was talking.
Yeah, god, yeah, it was awesome. It's great. Everybody. So thank you so much. Tell us what you thought of Oppenheimer. Tell us if you haven't seen it yet and you still don't see the big hoopla. Hopefully you get changed really quick to make sure that it's all you really realize just how great of a movie this is. But reach out to us. We're over on all the social medias. So we're on Popcorn Watchlist on X now. The platform formerly known as Twitter. We're at on Threads, hosted by Instagram, as well as mainly on Instagram through our main polls, as well. Danny goes ahead and runs all of our polling. So please go ahead. Let's have some fun dialogue and discussion and keep it going, okay? With that, everybody, we're going to be signing off. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.
Later.
It was excellent. Go watch it. Bye.